All right, we're live.
Okay, nothing's happened on the YouTube channel yet.
Yeah, it takes 10 seconds for it to kick on. All right. Mm. All right. Let's see how should we go about this. Okay. Hi, my name is Lukman Yunus
Right,
Singh
right, wait,
Eugene.
it's coming on now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But everything will be delayed. You see. Okay.
Yeah, we're on now. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Lukman Yunus Singh Eugene. Right. Usually people either call me Lukman or Eugene. All right. Firstly, I would like to thank and give honorable mention to Will Stewart from Will Stewart THFC Rand, right, for inspiring me to create this YouTube channel, Spursation TV. To all the fans out there, no matter what color or creed, what religion or no religion, all right, we are all fans of this wonderful club, filled with a rich history. Correct, we are at times at the pinnacle of our financial standing, but in despair from our football achievements, right? And this has created a vast divide in the mindset of the fan base. I hope to provide a place where we can come together and have a polite and civilized conversation, share opinions, and learn from each other to create and understand, to create unity, and hopefully we have fun along the way. Right?
That's where I
We
come
can,
in.
yeah, yeah. We can get to know each other, right, and start a true Spurs family. Right. In the end, this is why the channel has been created uh, by trying to persuade you, right, to come together and unite as one. To show the strength in numbers, we'll get things done, right? There's one saying: to walk fast, we walk alone. To walk far, we have to walk together, right? To you, Jamie.
Okay, right. So, as you can hear, I am not originally from this continent. I originally was born in North London, Enfield,
Uh,
and my
Jamie, hold on. I'm adding a friend.
okay. We're
All
adding a
right, go
friend,
ahead.
Mr. K.
Yeah,
Okay, we have a good friend just joining us, Mr. K. Um,
Mr.
I'm
K from
just
Yes,
give,
UK.
carry on. Carry on. I was
yeah.
listening to you very carefully. Carry on, North London.
Okay, North London. I was born in Enfield, which is one of the boroughs areas right by Tottenham, and I'm what you call a legacy fan, which is something I've recently been made aware of. But it just means that I've been a Spurs fan since birth. My family are a Spurs family. My dad was born in Edmonton. My mum was born in South Tottenham. It's support Spurs, or you're not a football fan, pretty much. Um, but what I've noticed in this continent is there are certain teams that dominate, certainly when it comes to wearing jerseys. Man United, Chelsea, the South London team that shall not be named, even though they think they're North Londoners. Um, and recently, Leicester. And because they have business ties, or they have some kind of impact on the Asian market. I wouldn't say community, because it's to apparently more to do with the money that can be made on the success of the teams. But Spurs are a great historical team who need to be mighty again. And also, we want to create an avenue for our Spurs fans, whether they come from back in the UK, or they live over here, or they were born over here. Um, so you can not only have good information about your team, you can gain a new passion for your team and invite new fans to the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. Because if you read your football history, we were the first team to do the double. We have an amazing history in the FA Cup, one of the greatest football trophies in history. We've done okay in Europe, but most of our European success was when I was young. I'm nearly 50 now. But we want Spurs to be the mighty Spurs again. And this is one way of doing it, making sure that the whole world knows about Spurs and not just certain regions of this planet. So at the moment, we're just starting, but we're reaching out to you so you can embrace your passion for Tottenham Hotspur once again and help more people see the precious treasure that Spurs is, and will join us to make the club great again. So whether it be Eugene or Mr. K, I'll pass it on to either one of you. But come on, you Spurs.
Go ahead, Mr. K.
Thanks, guys. Right, since you're doing introductions and people are listening, if they're going to hear it now or they're going to hear it in the future when they're playing back a recording, my name is Mr. K. I'm from East London. I grew up in East London. Rather than sporting a Hammers team, I decided to sport a Spurs team. And it's been the bane of my life ever since. I think everyone in East London hates me because of it. But yeah, it's like that. There's something about Spurs. I think I chose Spurs, so I wasn't a legacy fan. You know, I came here a very long time ago, so I'm nearly 50 as well. And for me, it was just a case of like, you know, you get old enough to choose, to think that you want to choose, and then you look around, and there's teams. You know, some of your boys are supporting Liverpool back in the 80s, you know, things like that. And then you eventually turn around and you pick out this team that's not doing too well, and you think, you know what, I like their motto, to dare is to do. Look, they got a little cockerel. They're not showing a cannon or, you know, a dragon or a lion or no, it's just simple. It's just a cockerel. It seems like the perfect working class club to me, but at the same time, there's something about them. They're you know, to dare is to do. There's definitely a flair, and I think basically that's the DNA of the club in terms of how they are, how it used to be. Now, strange enough, you know, new fans coming in, rather from the last 10 years, for example, 15 years, you know, they've seen our club reach a certain type of expectation. You know, Spurs fans, if you're listening, if you're listening and you want to type something in the chat, please do let us know you're there. If not, in the future, you can type something into the comment section. Just let us know that you've heard this. But here's the question: is that we've, as a Spurs community, we're scattered everywhere around the world, and persuasion is a beautiful idea of getting the Asian side of the Spurs family to have a voice, to have a platform, to come on and give their 2 pence, have a little rant, moan about, you know, Daniel Levy, you know, and the cohorts that are running the club into ruin. But yeah, look, man, I could carry on with a little bit of Levy bashing, but it's too early in the day for me to do that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you're
Sunday.
about. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
That's everyone should take it easy a little bit on Sundays then.
Yeah.
But
Sunday's
you're
a
right.
good day.
The beautiful thing is that there hasn't been a game for the last week or so, and it feels so refreshing, like normal life. I can hear the birds. I can see the rays of sunshine. There seems to be hope in the world.
And then see all the Spurs fans putting their hair out, waiting for a manager.
There's no hair left. There's no hair left. No.
But I'm losing a lot too.
Yeah, but at least you have the comb over.
Yeah. That's what Will asked me today. Why do you get a ball? I said, no, it's not an in thing in Asia.
It's not an in thing. Not yet. It will be soon. The ritual start to descend with it. But coming back, I mean, it seems to be, because let's face it, Daniel Levy has all the money on the planet, and yet he's decided to go for a bald look. I mean, is he that tight that he can't afford a head-over like Conte? Like Conte. I mean, Conte is a classic example. Boy, that guy was getting ball fast.
Yeah.
And look at his head now. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Trichology.
Yeah. Now Cody wants his hair transplant specialist.
Honestly, I'm freaking envious, bro. I'm a bit surprised. I mean, maybe that's the reason why he was trying to get cozy with him. So tell me, slip me that phone number. Slip me that phone number in the negotiation.
Okay.
That was the bottom line.
Imagine Levy with a full flock of hair. Oh gosh.
There was a picture. There was a picture of him recently as like a boot boy. I mean, he had the suit on, but he had like a crew cut and whatnot, and he looked like a thug.
Yeah, I was circulating that.
Okay.
he looked a bit psycho, a bit crazy. And I thought to myself, you know what, something not right about his eyes. But it looks like we've all got used to it and just not noticed it that much anymore.
Oh, well, sometimes it's friendly eyes. Normally when he's done a deal, and other times he does look a bit shifty, like nervous. Who's talking about me? Hey! So
now is the whole world is going to talk about him, right? It's already spread all the way to Asia.
Well, there's ramifications. You know, if people in the West start wearing Levi 501, everyone in the world starts wearing Levi 501s.
Yeah,
it may be small numbers, but the ramifications of what the actions that they do, it reverberates around the planet. The news of Tottenham fiasco, what they've had in the last 50 days of not having a manager, you know, it's eventually going to start to tell, as in like the information is going to go around the world and people are going to start raising questions, saying, why is it taking so long? I mean, some people just might not care.
True.
For them, it's a football team. They're watching a game. You know, they win or they lose. Oh, well, next time. You know, there's some people that are Tottenham till they die. And for them, that success and failure is everything. And we have a vast number of people in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people at the moment with the current health situation, they're just getting on with getting on. And until Spurs starts showing something positive, they're not going to lift their heads up, and we've got to lift their heads up.
No, we can certainly do that. We've got plenty of things. I did an experiment last Tuesday night with my show.
Sounds like it.
No, with my show in Three Wise Men. And what I did was, at the time, we were neck deep in the managership saga. Neck deep, absolutely neck deep. And so I did my show completely on anything but. I just did it about the good times that people had in the past. And honestly, it was a much more lighter 2 hours than any other 2 hours I've had in any stream.
That was our anticipation for the majority of this. It was just to get a flavour of what Spurs has meant to us and what Spurs is meant to be all about. So,
yeah, I think if you look at it, for most of us, it's like they're old enough to remember, you know, seeing Maradona, for example, you know, score that wonderful handball header. You know, we saw Romario. You know, we've seen some cracking players in our time, right? We've seen some pretty good football. We've seen some amazing goals. We've seen some major comebacks. Remember Iceland? No, not Iceland. Sorry, not Denmark. When they won the Europe.
When they won the Euros. Yeah.
So think about it. It's like we've seen upsets. We've seen Leicester upset, but Leicester's taking advantage of the upset by continuing with their progression. You know, we were just never lucky enough to kind of hit a cup on one of our little charges. That's all.
I think our chance, we missed our chance during the 2016 when Leicester was the champion. That was when we were in a 2-horse race and we ended up third. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That was our best
that was
chance.
Also the season. No, we lost 5-1 on the last day.
I think that was because
we lost. We weren't going to win. I mean,
The spirit was gone.
Yeah, so we ended up getting thumped 5-1 by Newcastle, a team that was getting
relegated. And after that, we went and bought who from that team for 30 million.
Having said that,
So-
not to get too much into the discourse, I sort of read that we're in danger of becoming Newcastle. You know,
I think
we've got the stadium, we've got the passionate fans. Some, well, at least a portion of them are still passionate, and just the way that we seem to be pretending we're going to get a great manager and then pulling back, or all these last minute deals and whatnot that don't pan out. So we've got to start bringing back the Spurs that made us love the club, not the Spurs that exist currently, which is too business-like.
Well, I mean, if you look at Newcastle as a model, right? Yeah, something's a little bit more blatant. Maybe the owner does exactly the same thing as Levy. He comes in, he sits, watches the game most of the time, or he's maybe stopped. But if you look at the same way that Arsenal have operated, you see the similarity between the three clubs is that the fan base put up with a lot, right? I mean, it took a very long time before Arsenal fans decided they're going to have a go at Wenger. And then even after that, it took another 3 years. So, I mean, that's pretty much what made AFT TV famous. Just a 3-year saga of riding that zero to hero stage of taking Wenger out, a person that they beloved. And the difference is that I remember some time ago that Arsenal was charging the most expensive prices for their season tickets compared to anyone else.
Wasn't that because after they built the Emirates, they needed to recoup the money?
It was a long time after. I mean, eventually they got more and more expensive as they went through. And the thing is, this notion that the stadium, that you need to pay it back, and this is a big fiasco in finances term, because everybody knows that the finances for the stadium has got nothing to do with the footballing of the club whatsoever. It's just that people out there have this perception, but it must have something to do with it. You're playing there. Well, not really. I mean, there's football teams that have played in the same football ground. There was talk of Tottenham and Arsenal, building a stadium together. There was
sharing the stadium.
2 years. Yeah, sharing the stadium, sharing the naming rights and all that, or alternatively having one as a parent, one as a sub. I mean, there's even talks of just doing their games at Wembley. And that was nice for a while, wasn't it? We were pretty good in Wembley, if I remember rightly. It's not the be all and end all, and the finances they roll within the business model of what's in the stadium, not the football. The football goes out there and wins, goes into the Champions League, makes money for group stages or semi-finals or finals. You get more and more money, the same as the Barclays Premier League. The higher up you get, the more money you get for every position that you're in, and you carry that money over. You have sponsorship money coming in for the football kits. You got naming rights which come in, which pay for the football. So this notion that any of this money has anything to do with paying off a debt is ludicrous. It's the biggest load of accountancy mumbo jumbo I've ever heard in my life. And there's people out there that are sprouting it. But to this day, I've never heard Daniel Levy ever say this, or the Cubs' official statement ever say this. But their mouthpiece, some of the people that are in the channels and medias, saying that were very good sources said this to me. A very good source. It's if you fill this one lie amongst 1,000 other truths, yeah. I mean, say 9,999 true things, but this one thing is a lie, and which is the money. Then you've hidden it successfully, because nowhere has a statement from Tottenham ever come out and stated, oh, by the way, the money that we have to pay for the stadium is directly linked to, everything. That's a lot of codswallop. And there's people out there who think they're very clever, who will come on and retort back and say, "Are you silly? How else can you do it? It doesn't matter. Even if you partition it, you're still going to be live." No, it's not. It's a separate business cost. It's totally separate business. Has nothing whatsoever to do with it. And for a season and a half when we didn't spend any money on the team, like there was no COVID there was no stadium there. Where did that money go to? Oh, they were saving that money to put into the stadium. No, they weren't. They borrowed £1.17 billion to build that stadium. They borrowed that money. They didn't need that from Champions League. So where did all these profits, where did all this extra money, where did it all go to? Because constantly this club has had no money, and yet it's worth over £2.5 billion if you were to sell it today. That's just crazy. I'm that little kid, right? That's standing there and watching the Emperor and saying, "This guy's got no clothes on," and everyone's saying, "Don't be silly. Of course he's got clothes on." And I'm thinking, hold on, but this guy's butt naked though. Like, I swear to God, I can see it. Look, you can see his thingy. And eventually, people are
Mr. K,
going to start to realize.
Be careful, because you haven't got your camera on. You may be declaring something that we don't really want to know about.
No, but look. It is light-hearted and humor because, there's real things happening in the world that are happening which affect, everyone's lives. That we're all connected to as a bigger family, as human beings in a bigger family. Like for example, stop the racism, the BLM movement, things like that. Have politically correct, nouns for people, because every human being is worth it. Or is that L'Oreal? But the main thing is that we
Benetton. Benetton, I think it was.
No, Benetton was ages ago.
Benetton exists anymore?
Well, I still got some of their stuff.
But but it doesn't exist now. Who bought
Really?
it? Bought Benetton? Yeah, I've not seen a Benetton shirt in so long.
Did that go down with Travatore? Or was his name the Formula One team?
He passed away, right? Fiabatore.
No. He basically, what happened? There was a fiasco in the pit lane. They got banned from being in Formula One forever.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was when Piquet's son, he drove into the wall.
Oh.
To stop, I don't know, race or stop something or another. I think it was in the qualifiers. He ran into the wall, and then they did an investigation. They said, "No, you did that deliberately." And then he came out and said, "Look, they forced me to do it." He ratted out his team.
Then somebody, because one of his teammates was on pole position. If he rammed it and it red flagged, then the position.
No, but here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. Because he ratted out the team, he never raced in Formula One ever again.
Ah, yeah, true.
But he ratted out something which was disgusting.
Yeah.
And we've seen two examples of that happening with Leclerc 2 weekends in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Ferrari.
Last week he did that.
It was Leclerc, and this week it was his partner, Sainz.
Carlos Sainz, yeah. No, it wasn't Sainz. It was Sonoda who crashed first.
Okay, there was one crash, but then he crashed. Yeah. He decided, I'll go for Zol.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Because it was at the corner, so he had no choice. So he had to, don't know what
that's
he
true,
had
That's true. I agree with you. But my point is that in life, we have all kinds of shenanigans happening in front of our face, and we say, nah, it's just a chance. It's just an accident. It's just weird circumstances. But it can't be malicious. And yet in every single sport out there, you'll find right at the very top people trying to manipulate things for their benefit.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
For money. The number one thing is always money. The fame equates to money.
Yes.
So if you win something, it was like, I think the Spanish or the Greek team that had disabled basketball players that weren't disabled. There was that fiasco. So winning, sometimes people do unethical things if they can get away with it.
Yes, of course.
And I think that's what's happened to our club, is that Levy has figured out a way to do unethical things, and because he's done it once, and no one caught him, he said, you know what, I can do this again and again and again and again and again. What are people going to do? What is
True.
anyone going to do?
True.
Like if somebody wants to complain, I've got a whole mob of fans that will jump in front of me. Yeah, and a lot of them happen to be legacy based. Tell you the truth.
Seriously.
They say, "Oh no, well remember the '90s? We had this PTSD. We were like a downtrodden club, and like we were about to get relegated. And because of that, our savior was Levy. We must never say anything bad against our savior. Even if he's done it wrong, even if he's done wrong, which everyone clearly knows, we can't get rid of him because he saved us. I think that the actual reality is, Sugar saved us.
Yeah.
Levy just made us more expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
he took. I mean, I don't know. At the time when Sugar was around, was it 10 million debt or something?
Yeah.
Maybe no more than that.
That's fucking
Yeah.
changed now. Oh, what Yid Kid online?
Billion pounds. The total
Hi,
debt
Yid
of our
Kid.
club is 1.3
You want to
billion.
hop on? Let me. How do I get the stream link to Yid Kid? Let me see.
Right, you just go to share and copy.
Yeah.
So in the
I'm
studio,
trying.
you see one up at the bottom. It says invite.
Okay.
Click onto that, and it will show
Alright.
you a link. You just copy the link, and you put that into the chat stream.
Okay.
So look. The other day, look, some people, they may take it for granted the information that they can see
Hop on,
regarding
Yid Kid.
regarding the silly things that the club does. And if you're around certain types of groups, you will see it as being normal, and you'll also understand the pattern of what's going on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the vast majority of fans out there, the vast majority, that's 90% of them, they're not in those groups. To them, that's not a normal thing. They don't see those conversations. They don't have a laugh. They see the news and they say, "Oh no, oh we're going to get Conte. Oh, we're going to get Poch. Oh, we're going to get Ten Hag," and they're excited about it. Who's it going to be this week? Which name are we going to be associated with this week? It's Michael Jackson coming back. All that type of malarkey.
Oh no. Yeah. Michael Jackson coming back. Yes. Right.
There's more chance of Michael Jackson coming back than Conte becoming our manager right now. So.
Oh, you opened the can of worms, right? Okay, Jamie.
No, I mean,
No, but come on. Think about it. Right now, Michael Jackson is probably what you've just said he is.
Can of worms.
I'm not, I thought, you know what? I thought there was a new trick in town that all the top, managers that need like a year off from work, they'll come and like, be manager Spurs, and come to a certain point where they'll just make life so uncomfortable for Levy that they have to get sacked.
Okay.
And they get their severance pay.
All right, Mr. K, I've got another guest coming in. And guess who?
The Yid Kid?
The Yid Kid. Hi, Yid Kid. How are you? Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good evening.
To us, it's good evening.
Okay, yeah, USA, Mexico. Wow.
Will you be on this watch along tomorrow with Will? I mean, later on.
Today. Yeah, it's today at 9.
Yeah. For me, it's tomorrow. For you, it's later on down. Oh, too late for you.
What do you mean too late? Look, he's a teenager. He's not a baby.
No, the finals for the match between Mexico and America is about 9 p.m. your time, right?
Yeah. No, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. my time. 9 p.m. your time.
No, it's 9 a.m. Wait, let me check. I think it was 9 p.m. 9 a.m.
Either way, it's not too late.
It's 9 a.m. now at your time.
Let me check with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9 p.m. my time.
Yeah. Past your bedtime curfew?
Excuse me.
Unless it goes to overtime, maybe it might be past my.
Oh, he has to sleep at what? 11:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man. Honestly, in Britain, for example, under COVID, this thing about kids having a bedtime, it doesn't exist.
Oh, my daughter doesn't have bedtime anymore.
No, the time for like them going to bed or them doing this, them doing that, it doesn't. Those patterns don't exist. They might come back
anymore.
After COVID.
After COVID, yeah.
But they might not. They might not.
Anyway, Yid Kid, I know this sounds a bit backwards. What's your first name? I can't just call you Yid Kid all the time.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Daniel. Yeah.
I had
Call
to
him Daniel.
I had to have a different name since I don't want people getting mixed up with me and Danny and Kariyaku. So
Ah, the bun.
I think
yeah.
I think there's a slight age difference there, mate.
Ah, I know.
Oh
Maybe
no,
maybe you should call yourself Kid Daniel.
No, I know, I've got it. Did you? You might not remember this. There was a film called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, well, in your case, it would be Honey, I Shrunk the Yid. Yeah, he had a bun and everything, and now he's shrunk, and he's got a Juve shirt and a Korean flag on his back wall. What's happened? Anyway, Jamie, Eugene, Daniel, Mr. K. I still only know as Mr. K.
Oh, you still don't know Mr. K's name yet?
No.
Mr. K, are you gonna tell him your name?
Just your first name.
I thought you knew my name was Khalid. I think I wrote it down in the chat many times in the group.
It's
Khalid.
Yeah.
Khalid.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
that's it. It's
Like the rapper.
Yeah. Yeah, Khalid. Yeah, the rapper.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I got a better image though. Less pounds. And I can handle chili chicken. He can't. He's
Chili chicken?
I can handle spice as
He
well.
can handle chili stuff. He had there's this YouTube program called Dine with Me. Right, Dine with Me, and basically the idea is that there's a group of people that interview their guests while they're eating hot wings.
Oh, okay.
So they have to eat these hot wings. There's like 10 hot wings, and every hot wing gets hotter and hotter.
Different
and these guys are going in like some crazy level chili stuff.
Yeah, there's one called the Bomb, and even though it's not the hottest one, it's always the one that makes the guest head spin.
Some one is like the nastiest one. It doesn't have any the flavor is really bad.
Yeah, it's just heat, not flavor.
That's it. Just pure volcanic heat.
But Daniel, if you want good flavor, extra hot sriracha. It's spicy and it has flavor.
The spiciest thing I've ever ate is the spicy Doritos.
Okay, well, I promise you, your taste will change as you get older.
Yeah.
Some things you yes. Well, no. Some things you hate now, you'll love later, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy.
Oh no, that one is forever.
Well, nice comeback. Okay, Daniel, that was nice comeback. Nice comeback. Okay.
Good one.
Also, nice shirt as well. Can you stand up a bit? Can I see the shirt?
This the state, the U.S. jersey.
Yeah, this is the
thing
American.
It's actually a nice jersey. I mean, just like Spurs. Sometimes Spurs have some really rank jerseys, and sometimes they hit it on the button. That jersey, I would buy if I had money. But
kid. So, how are you feeling today?
It's great. The weather is good.
That's good. And you were on the show earlier on Will's rants, right? So after that, you got your sleep and you've woken up. I'm sure you had your breakfast, right? And we still don't have a manager yet.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Yeah, that's the sad part. But
that's the sad part is that the fans have given up on the expectation of having their club do anything in a reasonable time that normal other clubs would. Okay, so you reckon Everton will get a manager before us, and they've already had a failure?
Probably.
That would just be sad.
But it wouldn't be beyond it. It wouldn't be unsurprising because Levy seems to be stringing things out. I mean, first it was the trying to boost the season ticket sales, and now it's just the fact that we've had such a mess created that lots of managers are like, keeping us at arm's length.
Maybe, yeah, true.
Look, at the end of the day, 10 to 15 million pounds is still a lot of money. I don't care who the manager is.
But a lot of big clubs either had their managers resign or got rid of their managers at the end of the season. So it's not like the managers that are available haven't got choices that they can make.
Yeah.
So Levy's got to make the club attractive and then be flexible.
Well, he built a really big stadium. We have a recent history of European football. recent because it's not too long ago that we didn't have it. But that's how the fall normally starts, isn't it? When you start saying the word recent.
Yeah.
And we've got a good youth team structure. It goes everywhere from the players right down to the bloggers. So we've got Daniel here. He could sneak in and replace Mr. Levy, and suddenly they wonder why the policy changes. But
They
his
might win
name's
a cup.
Daniel. His name's Daniel. I'm sure he was Mr. Levy.
No, we might actually win a cup or two, and they might actually buy a player of any good.
Mm.
That's
Okay,
been gone.
Yeah, kid. What would you? Who is your current realistic manager choice?
Ryan Mason.
Okay, right. We've got to encourage this.
Good
We've
choice.
got to encourage this young man.
That's gonna hit a nerve. That's gonna hit a nerve. Yeah.
The thing
Can't-
is, who else is left? Who else is left? Sean
There are
Dice?
Is that the plan? Is that Levy's plan?
Levy's
Jamie,
plan is to
Jamie,
take this club and put it down a
Jürgen.
drain.
Jürgen, do you think that's the plan? Is to bash us so much, raise us, drop us, raise us, drop us, that eventually we'll turn around and say, yeah, Ryan Mason.
Or the football
No.
club leaves the stadium and he keeps it for the NFL.
No, I mean the money's on Martinez now.
I honestly
end
don't even.
end
I don't even think Levy has a plan. Because if he had a
No,
plan,
No,
we
he
would
has
have
a
had
plan.
trophies by now.
He just won't tell us.
Jamie, I think the Yedkin is absolutely 100% correct. They have a direction, but they don't have a plan. A plan. If you have a plan, you act upon it. And like for example, Real Madrid, they had a plan. They said, okay, we want to get a top-ranking manager in. Who's available? And that was this situation when we approached Poch and PSG put the price up on Poch. They put an extension on his contract.
Same
Look,
with Ten Hag.
No, it's been reported like that, but the truth is not that. Number one, right? Yeah, when Spurs was originally negotiating with Ten Hag, they had a Zoom call meeting and so forth, yeah, and they discussed things. And out of that meeting, they mutually, that means both sides, withdrew. Right? Ten Hag said, okay, I put my pitch, it's not going to be fully accepted, so therefore I'm going to step back a little bit. And Spurs turned around and said, this, we've had a talk with this guy, he's not exactly 100% where we want to get to, so we're going to withdraw as well. The following day, right, Ten Hag, right, and Ajax is the person, Ajax is the entity that is controlling whether or not to extend the rest of the contract, not Ten Hag. So Ajax turned around and said, you know what, Giza, we like you, we want you to stay, let's extend your contract now. And bang, he's got his contract extended. So Ten Hag's happy. He's got his contract extended. Ajax value him more because Tottenham came knocking. And therefore, when it comes to transfers, they're going to back him a little bit more. And Ten Hag has said, I'm staying because I like the philosophy, I like the way that the system works in Ajax. Be very careful when you listen to these small comments that these managers actually do give out, because they tell you volumes. Now, the situation with Real Madrid, right, yeah, was very strange. A lot of people got this mixed up. Tottenham approached PSG, but they didn't approach PSG. They actually approached Poch. Now, how that's possible is only possible if Poch was in London and Levy phoned him up. That's Tottenham represented, and that's Poch, the man, the coach. Now, PSG, when PSG was prodded about it, PSG turned around and said, "Oh, we're not interested in letting go of Poch." Right? Now, what happened is because noise was being made about Poch, Real Madrid just lost their manager. Poch was one person that they've been looking for. Now, when they inquired into Poch, or Poch inquired into them, PSG got scared. Then they extended the contract. Okay? They extended it because Real Madrid came knocking. Right? And if you put up £20 million, £30 million compensation to take Poch, Real Madrid will think twice. Right? A large organization like that. So an organization like Spurs, for example, to be able to come out with a compensation package to take Poch away is just not possible. That's the truth. So this merry-go-round that we're on, this final talks with Poch is to turn around to PSG and say, listen, man, just go back to the beginning before you extended his contract. Well, let's talk about that extension. We'll talk about that compensation package. And now that Real Madrid are no longer there, you can have Conte. Look, he's available. And, if you think about if you got two choices that PSG could do. Either they could turn around and think, all right, we want to get successful the next 2 years. Let's just get Conte. He'll win us the Champions League maybe. But he's got no proven track record in Champions League. So how can you do that? He doesn't fit into that model either. So Levy's stuck. He cannot get Poch. It's impossible. Ten Hag will cost him a lot of money. Levy won't do that. So who's he left with? That means we're back to Harry Potter and we're back to Martinez. That's the truth. That's the honest truth, is that these names were being put out to the beginning, and then the feelers were, well, a lot of people don't like it, but some people say it's okay. And some people say, hey, man, that can work in a rebuild.
Well, of
The
those
vision
two,
and plan-
I say Martinez purely
Yeah.
and simply because he's been a national manager.
Well,
But
well, here's the
ultimately,
thing,
I don't
though.
want either of them. but
No, but
let's
here's the thing, though. When you look at the philosophy that Levy put out at the end of the season, was a possession attacking based, style with youth being developed. Martinez can do that. Yeah, and Potter can do that. They got attacking styles. They got possession based, fast flowing, development on youth, trust in youth. Good man management skills, good psychological skills. Martinez definitely. I mean, he managed to get Wigan to win an FA Cup the year they got relegated. Think about what Martinez can do with a decent team in his hand. Okay, so I for one, don't really care which manager it is, because all of these managers, they're honourable people, and the only thing that's not honourable is Levy. So if they come here, they're going to be stained with the same brush, and eventually that stain will force the fans to get rid of them. And that's what's going to happen. 18 months. Whoever comes in, guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah. It's difficult. We've got to find some way of turning the dialogue into a positive, not forgetting the main issue.
The best way to turn this into a positive is just don't talk about Spurs.
Okay, USA Mexico at 9 p.m. tonight, EST.
Have we got a junior version of? Have we got a junior version of Spurs, like the Spurs Juniors or something? A B team. A B team. Is that called Leyton Orient?
No.
I was thinking, might be interesting to start watching.
Talking about some of the youth players that are coming through. Everything from Dane Scarlett down. There's players there, but the big boys are making it difficult for the team's image to shine.
I think you're right there. There's the positive that we do have a collection of youth at varying breakout years. So they're not all going to break out in the same year, and they're going to be like one or two every year going to break out. So right now, it's a case of like, is Sessegnon going to break out this season? Is Skip going to break out this season? Is Parrott going to come back and break out this season? Is Scarlett really going to have a proper season breakout rather than just training alongside? And, some of these players are way too young to have a breakout season. Like 17 is a bit young. Subscribe.
Yeah, no.
I'm playing around with the things on.
But if you look at some of the other, but the thing is, if you look at the last 5 to 10 years, in terms of the youth development and the players that we've brought through, we have a wonderful head of youth. We do genuinely have a decent, sort of staff team there. Dean Ratschik, I think his name is. I've forgotten his surname. But we do actually have a decent quality there within that. And I think that's mainly because we're a North London club and we've got history here. But the problem which I highlighted some time ago is that we're lacking the coaches when it comes to the under-23s going up to the first team. There's never been enough coaches a manager comes in, he might bring in like 2 or 3 coaches, that's it. And that's not enough in the Premier League when you have so many games being thrown at you as a Spurs team. From like there was times I think we were playing like a game every 2 days.
Yeah.
That was some crazy stuff.
Oh, he's gone. Don't worry. Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah. By the way,
but-
Conte, there's a rumor that the reason Conte didn't come was because of the youth. So
because of Levy?
because of the youth.
Oh, he didn't want the youth to come up. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he wanted to
still-
buy. Conte is the same as Mourinho. He wants the Finnish, the Finnish item to fit
Finnish
into
article.
the team. The Finnish article to fit in the team, right? So
plug in and play.
yeah. And no issues about their professionalism, whether they train hard enough, train good enough, their fitness levels, and all that. So
Just
I
give
guess
me a trophy.
that's what we want.
That's what we
I don't
got.
think No,
What do you call-
the problem is, right, yeah, is that if you're a Premier League manager, okay, here's the bottom line, right, yeah, and people are just talking a load of malarkey and a load of crap. Let's give youth a chance, right? Let's give youth a chance, but if the manager doesn't do well in the game, then he's an idiot. On the one hand, you want him to do something. On the other hand, you vilify him for doing it, right? Because if you do give youth a chance, right, yeah, they're going to be liabilities on the football pitch, right? It's that simple. You can't expect a youth player to suddenly get on the field and suddenly perform at an amazing level like Messi. No, he has to get on the pitch, make mistakes, grow, maybe get sent out on loan, right? And then come back and then integrate themselves by being subbed on, by being that player that plays in the Conference European League, that people that might play in the early cup stages, against Peterborough or something, to get their legs. But eventually, when you get to the Premier League level, right, those people, they're out proper on their game, right, and they make very, very few mistakes, right, and they influence the game. So your personality has to be strong as well. So that's where people like, for example, Winks have been found wanting, and Dyer has been switching off, right? So you can see the effects of what happens if people don't get it right. So if you put these youngsters on there, right, yeah, fair enough, you give them a little bit of leg time, you give them a little bit of play time, but you'll also have the expectation of trying to win the damn game. So a manager's going to turn around and think to himself, hold on a second, I'm going to risk putting that kid on, or I'm going to try to draw or win this game, right? And if I get it wrong, if I lose this game, my head is going to be on the block, right? So people like Conte and Jose, right? Yeah, they're just blatantly not going to do it. Right? They're just not going to, because they want to win every single game. They don't care about points make prizes. They just care about every single game they must win. Every single game they must win, and that's the mentality of a winner. It's not like a strategizer, like we are a team, we're not a bunch of winners. So we turn around and say, oh, over 4 games, we've got to get this many points and we'd be happy. No, over 4 games, we want to get 12 points. Simple. We don't care about the points. We just want to win every game. That's the winning mentality. We don't have that, right? Even when we were playing with, even when we were with Poch, right? Yeah, when we used to go through the early group stages of the European Cups, the first few times we were in it, we used to do really, really badly. Like, honest to God, really, really badly. It was when we started getting our defense properly toned up. That's when we started to push forward with Europe. But youth, we've been thinking about producing good youth for quite a number of years. Only one breaks out every now and again. Where did the rest go? Off they go.
Yeah, no, well, but having said that, was it recently? There's was it 8 or 11 players let go, and most of them are players, the younger players, the ones that hadn't broken through to the first team, like Shiloh and Kezia Sterling and stuff like that. But we've got to see. I think it's weird. We can't expect trophies now, otherwise it's no good. We've got to stabilize and then move forward.
I mean, here's the crazy thing. Sterling's name, right? Yeah,
slipping back.
Yeah, Kazza Sterling's name, for example, right? Yeah, his name was like back in some years ago was being breathed about, just like Scarlett's name was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? So we seem to have this little merry-go-round of the same type of thing when it comes to our youth players, right? If they can get some game time and they get good enough, we can sell them on for a little pretty penny, 15 million, 25 million, or whatever we're going to get for Winks. Yeah, but we've done that in the past. We've got players like Ryan Mason, for example. They got to Premier League level, they weren't good enough for top level, so they got sold and moved on, like he did for Hull. But we've very rarely, I think it's one of the first times is with Kane, where we produced a player which is at the top of the game. We're not producing, it's not easy to do that in this country.
But you must understand, Kane went out for how many loan seasons before he
11 or
broke into
something.
into the
He
first
went
team.
11 different times.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the boy worked hard to get somewhere. I mean, look,
Yeah.
the club that he tried to get into when he was a youth, they rejected him. Tottenham took him and then put him left, right, and centre. In a way, that's like a rejection, because why didn't you play him in the first team? I think it was Tim Sherwood was the guy that put Kane on the map.
Kane, yeah, true.
Yeah, and then when Poch came in, he inherited Kane, right?
True.
And then Kane proved his worth. But the thing was, by the time he was ready to play for the first team, he knew how to put the ball in the back of the net. He didn't need to learn how to do that.
Do you see that in Stevie B?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I keep seeing that in Stevie B. He gets the ball in all the good positions, but he can't put it behind the net. I don't know whether
I think that just come. Like, Stevie B reminds me so much of Sonny, so much of Sonny.
Yeah, younger version of Sonny.
And that's why I think it'll take a good coach, right, to coach Stevie B the right way, right, whatever that way is, the right way, and Stevie B is going to be next. Stevie B will explode. He'll be like a Sun Mark II. Trust me. He'll be everything that we wanted Mora to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Having said that, there is a news story about Mora that I've just seen. That apparently one of the Arab Emirate teams, Al Hilal, are looking to trying to buy him.
For how much?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get the article up. It just came up on OneFootball. Al Hilal. Okay, Al Hilal.
Are we interested because we love the player for what he did in the Champions League?
I think Lucas
or are we just
Moura
looking for the money? Or we just want the money?
No. I think Levy would just want the money, but I would want to keep Mora. I still think he has a place in the team.
But I think the problem with Mora is now, right? He's 29. The age part. Oh, what's that, Daniel?
It's a shirt.
Ah, isn't that Ajax?
Oh, that's the shot. That's the Mora kick. That's the Mora kick. That's the one that scored the goal right at the end.
Okay.
Both their feet were going towards the ball, and Mora kicked it first, and that was the last touch of the ball. I will never forget that engagement. So
that's how we got into the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You're saying here that the Brazil international, who was close to former Spurs manager Jose Mourinho, is being offered a lucrative move to the Middle East. Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal are launching a move for Mora, reports Italian transfer expert Nicolo Schira. Al Hilal coach Leonardo Jardim is a fan of the midfielder and hopes to bring him to the Middle East this summer. Mora would arrive to replace veteran Italian striker Sebastian Giovinco. Giovinco. So.
But no price on the transfer.
No price. There's another article that's saying that Alderweireld would like Martinez to come to Spurs.
Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Okay.
His national team coach. Becoming his club coach.
Toby the Mole.
Toby the Mole. That's what,
well, it's a good connection to have. If he had still had Vertonghen, then they could do a double whammy. So
then maybe Jan will come back. Vertonghen.
I love that guy.
Yeah. I really miss him, right? He has
Yeah.
that finesse in him, which very hard to find in a CB.
We went from Jan Vertonghen to Eric Dyer.
Oh,
Yeah, we went from Supervan to Dire Straits.
yeah.
Alright, guy, an incredible stat. Joe Roden is the center back that's got the least minutes this season, and he's probably been our best center back.
Yeah, true. But the sad part is he doesn't get his chance to play, right?
Yeah.
But this was something that I felt was very weird during the Mourinho time. Is he always played those few players, and I think he overplayed them until they were totally exhausted. And I think he didn't have confidence in the squad to rotate the players, to bring them in and out, bring them in and out. That's why you keep seeing that, like why Vinny didn't get a chance to play, why Roden didn't get a chance to play, right? And somehow weirdly, it's like he didn't use Bale enough, or maybe it was Bale himself that didn't want to play.
Yeah.
Bale's looking after his, just in case he tweaks another muscle or something, then he won't be able to go to the Euros. And at the end of the season, that's when Bale needed more matches, and that's when he started to say, okay, I will play. That's how I see it, you see. So in the end of the day, we can't say who to blame and all that for this season, but overall, I guess we are all to blame. Like in the first instance is, of course, our chairman, right, has pulled a lot of smoke and screen and mirrors and all that to blind us of the real truth. But after when the COVID happened, then the ESL happened, that's when most of the fans started to wake up, right? But now it's not enough to see what is happening. Like I said, that's why I started this channel, right? Hopefully, we can get the message out there. No matter where we stand, we have to unite, right, to see and bring our club to a better place, a higher position. Our ambitions have to change. We built a $1 billion stadium, right, not to play in the Conference League, European Conference League, not to end up maybe being relegated or fighting the relegation battle and all that. So, however we see it, if us as the fans, we don't push the owners, they will still do the same thing. And like what Mr. K says is correct. We as the fans are the ones that are funding every single thing in the stadium. Every single thing. After what Levy has bought, when he has already bought the Spurs over completely in 1991, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, 2001. Oh, sorry. But when did Sugar leave? Anybody remember?
Sugar. I wasn't alive.
Yeah, I know you weren't even conceived yet, Daniel. But after when Sugar actually left the club, that's when only Levy became chairman. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 2001, right? That's when Levy became chairman. That's when our THST, the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust was set up, right? And all these things is already, I mean, in Levy's mind, he has planned all this, orchestrated all this, okay? And he's found a way, right? Because as Spurs fans, somehow or another, we have been holding on to an underdog tag for a very, very long time, okay? Even though we have all the history, right? The first non-league club to win the FA Cup. Of course, that was way back, right? Way back, right? And the first team to do the double, European, okay? But our history is so rich, and somehow or another, Levy has pulled a wool over our eyes for a lot of the newer generation fans not to see that. Now what the newer generation fans see is the bling. You see? Our bling stadium, our bling this, our bling that. So somehow or another, maybe the fans have gone to the stages that we are. Okay, who's that?
I think that's your kid's alarm clock.
So somehow or another, the wool has been pulled over our eyes, and somehow or another, like Mr. K says, that maybe the legacy fans are the ones who are afraid that we might become bankrupt and drop out of the scene forever. So that's why they are more or less able to accept where we are standing.
I
And
would
like
say
what
some of the legacy fans, I would say people like myself, you can also say that we've seen so many ups and downs and we're still holding on. That, come on, what have you got?
Yeah.
Throw it at us, we'll take
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, it's just like me, right? I've been a 40 years supporting this club, okay? And I've been immune to what Levy does. The up and downs, up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. So maybe a lot of fans out there, like me, right, haven't actually woken up to see the fact that we can do better, right? The DNA that has been implanted into us is not the correct DNA. That is the sad part. You see, we older generation fans have become something like we just accept it. We accept it as being mediocre. But the problem came along is that when we got Poch in, Poch brought us 3 levels up, reaching the Champions League's final was like the pinnacle of his success. Don't forget, during the time, Poch was already unhappy. Remember? He was already unhappy with all the setup. He wanted change, but Levy didn't give it to him. When the news conferences he was doing, it was very, very weird and negative kind of feeling that you get in his eyes and all that. And you must always remember what he said. If I win the Champions League, right, I will stop being the Tottenham Hotspur manager. I've achieved my goal. I can step back then. I can step down then, right? So it's hard to say, but maybe the signs were there and Levy panicked and he got in Mourinho, right? And like we were saying that Mourinho had a very bad time with MU, and after when he left MU, he was jobless for nearly how many months? 9 months or 12 months?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So Mourinho thought it was a match in heaven. Oh, I've got Tottenham, right? They've got a big stadium. They got this, they got that. And maybe COVID did throw a spanner into Levy's plans, right? But in the end of the day, we come down to say that they are billionaires. Whatever pandemic comes and hit them, it doesn't hit them.
Yeah.
It hit us, the working people, right? We lose our jobs, we lose our income, we lose everything during this pandemic. But the rich get richer, okay? All they had to do is diverse all their stock holdings now to pharmaceutical companies. Some pharmaceutical companies' stock goes up, they make their money, right? The sad part is that they have not taken. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't want to be quoting this as a quote or anything, but to my feeling is that they have not spent a single cent of their own money for a very, very long time. And the fans must understand, every single cent that now Levy spends, right? Okay, who's Echo?
I think it might be Mr. K.
Well, it was Mr. K.
Mr. K, he's gone out and in again. So
Yeah.
every single cent that the club spends, right, it's not their money. The money comes from the fans. So, and if the fans are still willing to give them that money, they will still continue playing the same game. That is what I'm trying to say. So, like now, we have to find a way, right, in certain sense that, okay, whatever fans in locally, home ground, like those who are still in the UK, they have to do their job, right, to show their displeasure. Like I always been saying, please renew your season tickets if you can afford it, right? If you can't afford it, sorry, we can't say anything about that. If you can afford it, renew it, go to the stadium and show your displeasure. That's all. You see, when you show your displeasure in the stadium with live television, right, where hundreds of millions of other people see that match, right, they will get an effect. You see, and the effect is that we fans overseas see that, then they might wake up too and saying, why are all these fans in home ground being so unhappy, right?
But also, as you said to me, I believe you said to me previously about the fact that we're removed from the noise. So our
Yes.
perspective being further away geographically means we can see the bigger picture rather than being blinded by the noise and the smoke and everything that's in your face at ground zero.
True. But also because of technology, this noise actually has reached Asia, right? Easier to reach Asia, easier to reach in Americas. Because like you see, if not, there wouldn't be like Will who comes out and do a show like that, right? To get the fans out in America to talk about it, like Yit Kid. And that's how I met Yit Kid, how I met Mr. K, how I met, you, Jamie. And it's all through social media, you see? But the problem with social media, there's always the negative side, You get people who go on and start cursing, start, berating the other people who don't follow certain opinions, right? I understand that's your opinion too. Everybody has a right to his own opinion. But once you start playing that negative game, a lot of people will go back into their shell. It's just like a tortoise. If you poke it, where does it go?
Yeah, for us, this is broadcast number one. So let's make sure that we don't just dive back into the negative pool.
Yeah. So that's why I started this channel, right? Is to unite the fans positively. That's the most important thing. Uniting the fans positively, right? Giving one voice that what we want to do, right? Whether we achieve it or don't achieve it, at least we try. Okay. And in the end of the day, if we try and we achieve it, okay, further down the line, there'll be plans coming in. Once we get more subscribers, more people to come on and talk, more people to understand, then there's a proper dialogue to try to solve problems instead of shouting at each other. But sad to say is that being human, we are programmed like that. Why? Because it happens in parliament. It happens, in every level of society.
We want to find our position in a group, and also we want to not be at the bottom. So we're either trying to fit in or push down.
Yeah.
So but at the moment, I wish I could be Yid Kid. He's got the whole world in front of him. He's got USA against Mexico. He's got a good jersey on, and he's got all these years to build himself up rather than.
You see, Jamie, if we do the right thing as the older generation, right, then the Yid Kid, his generation, will have a good future for the club as the fan, enjoying the build up. Of course, there's not always going to be positive sides, and they will learn the negative sides, right? Instead of now, like Yid Kid coming on. Yid Kid, you're 13, right?
I'm 13 in 9 days.
Happy birthday! Right, so he's going to be 13 in 9 days. Imagine if our club is still like this for the next 20 years. Wouldn't Yid Kid be like mentally disturbed?
Yeah,
I think Levy should get. I think Levy should get a new manager for his birthday.
Yeah, Yid Kid, send Levy an email. I want a new manager for my birthday.
Listen, guys, I've been having issues with my Wi-Fi at home and the internet provider, Virgin. So I'm gonna have to cut out of here because I've still got some issues. I need to restart the router and so forth.
All right, no problem.
I'll catch up with you later on. If not, then thank you very much for having me on. It's brilliant, brilliant show. It's good to talk about things.
Just in case there are a lot of Asian fans watching, Mr. K, just give me your plugin and all that. Where to find you and all that.
You'll find me on a lot of the chats, which I do a lot of moderation for. On, like, for example, Matt Hayes, Tottenham blog, the Irish Hotspur. I do modding in the chats for there, and sometimes I may pop on because I'm a member. But in terms of on a panel, Paxton Road TV is one. So if you haven't come across that, Paxton Road TV, I do some panel work there. And in terms of my own shows, I put together something called the Three Wise Men with Brian Daigle. That's right, Three Wise Men. It's a show that has Brian Daigle and Awesome Oil. We three are the three wise men. We generally just talk about Spurs in a different way, mostly from the point of view that we want Levy to go. So we're trying to educate the fans so that they can understand how Levy's been playing games with them. And recently, what's happened is just been even more damning into what we've been saying for the last, all this time. And people, once they start to realize it, it's a case of like, it doesn't matter who realized it first, who realized it last. What matters is that Spurs fans, in order for them to evaluate their club properly, they must understand the information that they see and they don't see. Right? It must be very careful that some of the information that we're being told is hearsay. It's next man saying, well, a good source told me. I could be in a pub and someone's telling me that. That's not news. That's pure gossip. So in the Three Wise Men, we try to discern the gossip and try to find the truth and the fact. The Three Wise Men is being hosted on Will Stewart's THFC Rants channel, and that's a brilliant channel. It also has Cody Mack on there, as well as Will Stewart, and obviously Marcelo, a big Brazilian based in America.
I'm telling you, bro.
Fan. I'm telling you, bro.
And some other words we can't broadcast.
So
when he gets passionate, the airwaves turn blue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice little community. I mean, there's another channel called Tottenham Away, and sometimes I may appear as a panelist on there or in the comments.
Are they mainly Canadian and American?
No,
No.
they're got one Canadian, I think.
Two, Brian Island and Brian Daigle, Canadian.
Daigle's moved to Canada.
Yeah.
He's like me, an expat. I'm a Brit in Asia, and he's a Brit in Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the Shy and Stelios, they are based in the UK.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham Away and Paxton Road TV. Basically, the panel, half the panel on those channels are like coaches, people who train footballers, things like that, maybe youth or Sunday League or whatever level they may be at. But they're more that type of mind. So when they analyze things, they analyze it from that point of view. So yeah, I've got a good spectrum of channels which I've been to. I've not been to those. Paxton Road is probably like the one which is the most neutral. Like they won't go too much into the politics because they're just looking at the technical side of it and evaluating it for you, interpreting it for you, and telling you what the strategy at play is. Sometimes, for example, we turn around and we blame players for not doing certain things, but they've been told by the manager not to do it, and we're shouting at the player. Sometimes the player's confused as to what the manager wants him to do. He's got conflicting orders, and therefore he looks out of step. And a lot of the times we'll turn around and just blame the player as if it's all his fault, or sometimes we'll blame the manager when the player, in fact, is not doing his job properly. So understanding the tactical side, the coaching side, is important so that you can evaluate whether or not the player is playing for the shirt, or whether or not the fans are too eager for blood. And sometimes our fans are like that. They rather point their finger at the player than think, hold on a second. Daniel Levy is the guy that brought this guy in. If this guy's got no backbone when it comes to pressure, why are we blaming the player? We should be blaming the guy who brought him in. 30 million pounds, 40 million pounds. Man, I'm going to send somebody out there to find out what your character's like under pressure. That's 100% given. I'm not spending that type of money and not asking those questions. That's just silly. So that means that Daniel Levy has been knowingly bringing players into this football club for the last 15 years, because the first 5 years was a different system. For the last 15 years, he's been bringing players in who have that quality where push comes to shove, they'll fold. That's Levy. That's Spursy tag we talk about. I said the managers come and go, the players come and go. Why do we still have a Spursy tag? It's because we got a person like this who's been hand choosing the players. Jose will turn around and say, okay, I want a person like this. No, I'll get you this instead. The personality time and time again. We got Don Bele. right, to try to do some magic tricks in the middle of the pitch, right? And what happens? He gets kicked in within the first 2 minutes of being on the pitch. Somebody will come running up, smack the shit, kick him in the shins, drop him down, come in with a late challenge, right? Elbow him, clothesline him, MMA him, and guess how many of the Spurs players come to his rescue?
None.
Not
True.
a single one. Maybe Højbjerg. That's about it.
Yeah.
Right now, I remember that 2015, 2016 season. Yidkid, you remember that? You were telling me that's your favorite season, the 15 to 16.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what was the one thing that was the best thing about that season was when one of our players got tripped up or pushed, the whole team came for them. Remember that time in Chelsea, the bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember at Arsenal, right? We all went in, right?
Definitely.
So that type of backing the team playing for the team, we can clearly see the players are not doing that. They haven't done it for 2 years.
It's gone.
So where did they
Yeah.
get the permission to think they can behave this way? If it doesn't come from the top. So Levy has been undermining the integrity and the power and respect of the manager, whoever that may be. To the point. He did it to Poch. He did it to Jose. And he's done it to every manager before as well.
Maybe that's why
Speaking of
no
Poch-
manager wants to come.
Speaking of Poch, a slight diversion. I've just seen the Sports Lens again on One Football. Pochettino has convinced Wijnaldum to join PSG from Liverpool. So is that an indicator that Poch is resigned to the fact that he's staying at PSG, or do you think this is just PR from PSG?
He's staying at PSG. They waited. They really wanted him to come in. They found a coach that's willing to listen to their top players and change and modify. Most managers come in, they have an ego, and if a top player turns around and says, "Listen, can you please change something about the way that you train us?" Your pride will be upset. You'll say, "Nope, never." But Poch did it because he's played at PSG when he was a player, right? Neymar is, I mean, that was the most expensive player ever on the planet, 250, 260 million or something like that. Okay. So if that guy is going to speak, unfortunately, he's going to have some influence and power. You should listen to him. He's not exactly a nobody. Do you understand? And that's what happened. He turned around and said, "Listen, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to train us to become much more stronger and last longer. But right now, we just can't do it. You're killing us." So he decided to change his plan and his tact. He goes, "Right, fair enough. I'll do that in the summer. I'll get you guys ready for next season." Behind the scenes, Leonardo, who's the footballing director, he kind of like, there's been some dissatisfaction with his performances. So they'd rather change him than change Poch. They'd rather keep Poch, and then, so there's no this rumor mill about, PSG wanting other managers and things like that. It's absolute lot of crock. Some of these players, like for Wijnaldum hasn't signed his contract. He's let his contract run completely all the way down. He knew exactly where he's going. He's not gonna do that for Bournemouth, is he?
Wijnaldum, I thought he's going to
Barca.
Barca,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry. No, Wijnaldum. I mean,
Yeah.
it's for me, right? Yeah, these top-ranking players, when they become free, they're not going to go to little clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can choose. Like Eric Garcia, for example, right? Yeah, Eric Garcia we were crying out for a defender at the beginning of the season, right? Yeah. And there was a defender sitting at Man City, twiddling his thumbs, not playing a single game, and that was Eric Garcia.
We could have got him on loan, right?
We could have just got him on a loan.
Yeah.
Honest to God. And then while he was here, we could have talked to him and say, "Listen, Geezer, why don't you sign for us? Because you're not signing your contract, you're not renewing it. You're going to walk on a free. You're gonna walk on a free." So, but his plan was to go back to Spain, I think. So
Yeah.
that was just the way it was. But we're not a big club because we couldn't attract him.
But haven't you noticed?
Thinking about Man City, what about this talk a few days ago that if Man City did get Harry Kane, that we get Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus in return?
Jamie, when's the last time you saw anybody swapping players?
I'm trying. It's wishful thinking.
Forget wishful thinking. Forget that for a second. Just ask me this: in terms of history, right? Yeah, in the last 5 years in the Premier League, right? Yeah, which teams have ever done a transfer where they've done money, player, cash? Who's done that? You take this player, I'll take that player. Here's some money. Where's the last time someone did that?
Paper
No,
talk.
it's all big.
So all of this is just hypothetical mumbo jumbo, just to make everyone believe that something can be possible.
Or
This is
something's actually happening.
Yeah, this is typical Levy tactic.
Yeah.
It's like to confuse it. Most teams do not do that. Okay, you remember at the beginning of last season, right? Yeah, we were trying to sell Kyle,
Walker Peters.
Kyle Walker Peters. We were trying to sell him, and at the same time buy Doherty. No, not Doherty. Who were we trying
Carl
to buy?
Walker Peters. Højbjerg.
Yeah, that's a
Southampton.
Højbjerg. We were now originally it looked like the deal was dependent one upon the other, but it then transpired no, those two deals are completely separate.
Yeah.
But
We bought
the noise that we
Højbjerg.
were hearing as
Yeah.
fans, the noise we were hearing as fans was no, we're doing a player exchange stuff
Mhm.
and money. So this talk about this player exchange for money and all the rest of it is totally a bunch of malarkey. We had the perfect example of Kyle and Højbjerg, and it was never implemented. Right? So this
I
idea
think
that we can
we bought
Levy's
Højbjerg
gonna want
for
money.
15, right?
Look, Levy's gonna look. Okay, when Levy does selling, he wants to sell high. When he does buying, he wants to buy low. So if he's going to do a deal with Man City, one, he's going to charge a lot for Kane, and secondly, he's going to say he's going to accept very little for Sterling, very little for anyone else. I mean, Jesus, for example, right? He's going to value Jesus about the same as Vinicius.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
36.
No, not even 36. 15 to
13.
20. 15
Oh,
to
God.
25 million. That's Levy. Levy's going to ask. Well, Levy's going to say, you know what, Vinicius is worth the same. If not more. So I think Levy's game's right. Yeah, won't work because 15 million is certainly not his price. Jesus is like a 30 million pound player minimum, all day long. But he's going to be valued by Levy as 15. So we're going to be stuck. Nobody is going to want to do business with this guy to do that type of business. It'd be outright buy. I
think that's what our club has become at the moment, Mr. K, because of all his old dealings and all that last time, right? He has created a very negative karma in the market towards him, from managers to players, because he is always trying to cut the prices, and sometimes he try to take advantage of the teams that are in trouble, right? So I guess all this is coming back now. I can tell you, don't be surprised. We can't even get one or two of our deadwood out of the club. Don't be surprised.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I got to go.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I
Mr.
got to
K.
make a move here.
Mr. K,
Kid, absolute pleasure. See
Mr.
you guys.
K, before you go,
Yep.
I'm gonna start a new podcast on my channel, and I'm bringing on people. So I'm gonna send you a message if you're interested in coming on one day.
Of course, man. We'll look, as all of us here, we're here to support one another, and we're all happy to do so. So just give me the word. I'm there.
Okay.
And,
Yep.
I'll bring my A game, as always. Listen, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you very much for opening up this channel, especially this time of day. I would love to see how this channel grows and the new panel members, the new members from your side, how they grow in your chat and how they grow, and then go from your chat to your panel so you can see them as well and hear their point of view, how they explain things. That's what I want to see more than anything else from your channel.
Yeah.
It might take you a little while to grow, but all the best. I'll always be here. Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
take
Mr.
care.
Thank you,
Come
Mr.
on,
K,
you
for coming on.
Spurs. Yeah,
Come
no
on, you
problem.
Spurs.
Come on, you
Come on,
America.
you Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
you start you already have your channel up, right? But you haven't had any content.
I know. I've
And-
uploaded a lot of videos actually.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you haven't done any live streaming like this.
No, I have done one live stream with Brian Daigle, but I was gonna start a new podcast.
Okay.
So
Right.
So what,
That's
on Spotify or something, or
no, it's just gonna be a live stream every night, 1 hour, going over all the Spurs news and all of that.
On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
So it's the same channel that I have. We've subscribed on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just drop us a message whenever you're coming on. Then we'll hop in if we're not asleep.
remember the time difference.
Time difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also send us the link so we can promote you to those that are watching us. As I pray and trust they will do so.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I already have the kids link channel. Yeah, because you did some songs for David the last time. Is it the same channel?
No, it's not the same one. That
Oh, you
one,
started new
yeah.
one. Okay. Yeah, just put it in our chats, and then after that we can go look for it and search on our YouTube channels.
Mm.
Right.
There it is. I put the link in the chat.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. So have you got a prediction for USA Mexico? What do you think the score will be?
Saying 2-0. A goal from Christian Pulisic and a goal from Gio Reyna.
Okay. Right.
2-0. All right.
Yeah.
But
So
you know that Mexico is is the state's boogie team, right?
Yeah, it's basically like El Clasico.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think. Where are they playing?
I have no idea.
No, are they playing the States or they're playing in Mexico?
I would have to check. Wait.
Yeah. Because if they play in Mexico, it can get real violent. That's what about Mexican football, right?
Doesn't say where. It just says CONCACAF Nation League.
It doesn't say where. Okay, that's weird. Right.
Okay, let me check myself. USA Mexico, 6th of June. Okay, okay, right. It didn't hear me correctly. It said check message. You say Mexico 6th of June. Okay, that's not what I was asking for. Google Assistant.
Oh dear.
Hey, okay. USA versus Mexico, 6th of June, venue. Yeah, yeah. I think I've got the same thing here. It just says CONCACAF Nations League tomorrow 9 a.m.
No venue.
More about this game. Let's see now. Nothing. The Sports Authority field. So it sounds like it's being. It sounds like it's being played in the States.
Oh, okay.
Sports Authority field. Have you heard of it before, you kid?
No.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just checking that link as well. Sports Authority field. Okay, it's in Denver.
Back in the States.
They're playing in Denver. So what are you? Are you East Coast? Which time zone are you on?
He's in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to be mountain time. So 2 hours behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time is it over there in your place now, kid, Daniel?
9:28 currently.
Okay, that means we have 12 hours. We have 12 hours.
Yeah, we heard his alarm clock go off. I reckon it's one of those soccer balls or footballs that when it goes off, you have to throw it at the wall to turn off.
Nah, it was just my.
Okay. Well, it woke me up.
Okay, guys. We've been on for about 1.5 hours. Any last words before we call it a night?
Yeah.
For your kid. Okay. Just say a few words. Call it a morning, you kid. Just say a few words, you kid. Daniel. So.
Yeah, I don't know if link. I put it in the private chat.
Okay.
Because the normal chat wasn't working.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Hopefully we can get a half decent manager in. Obviously now we don't have the great choice like Conte, but obviously maybe we could get like a manager that can at least get us to top 4 next season. Hopefully Kane stays, which very unlikely, but maybe if he does go, we bring in a good replacement. And that's about it.
Yeah.
No, that's good enough for me.
Okay, yeah, kid. See you again the next time. I will let you know when I have the next show. Let's see how it goes. Along the way, I do have another WhatsApp channel. WhatsApp group. We'll go through and see how we go about that. All right, you kid.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, and
all right.
Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, it's down to you and I, Daniel, Jamie. So
did you just say Daddy-o?
Daniel, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no. I think that the young man's got it. We need a decent manager. We're not going to get a superstar manager. Build from there, and then continually work on waking Levy up or getting Levy out. Because we need to reclaim it as a football club and not just as a business concern. I'm in the Spurs family. I'll always be Spurs. Whatever happens, the Levy will come, Levy will go, and I'll still be here. As long as he's not locked himself in his office. But yeah, I just want the new season to be somewhat of a new start. Have some positives to move forward with, even if we're still dealing with the baggage of this season, which includes Enoch and Levy and the various head turnings of various players that we do or do not end up hanging on to come the new season.
Yeah. All right. So as for me, is that I hope that once we start this journey with the Spursvision TV, we can get more of the Asian fans to be involved, right? To see more faces on this channel, or maybe other channels that we can build up. So let's hope that we can get the word out there, and let's see what is the sentiment of the Asian fans, right? Or maybe the fans of the other world.
If we get some of the viewers from Will and Mr. K's various channels, just to make them aware, and send the like-minded or the people who are in our neck of the woods and would have an interest to come along. Just so basically, if they're willing to help us give people advance notice of the broadcasts. So because this first broadcast, I think, was let's just hit the ground and try to move forward and see how it goes. Onwards and upwards, which is what I hope Spurs do in the new season.
All right. Okay, Jamie, let's call it a night for us on this side. Yeah.
When you've got people in different time zones, you're like,
it gets you real confused. Yeah, I understand. But just to let you know, tomorrow 8:30, Will THFC Rants will be doing the watch along for the USA Mexico CONCACAF final for the Nations League, CONCACAF Nations League, whatever you call it. Right. I'll be there. If you have time, then just pop in. All right, Jamie.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well,
all right. Take care. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just have some last words, and then I'll end the broadcast. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Asia.
Thanks, Jamie.
Spurs is coming. Okay. You can take me off.
Yeah. All right. All right. This is our first episode. Let's hope that we will be spreading the word out in Asia to get more Asian fans to hop on and have a dialogue, right? Have a dialogue on the situation of our club, have a dialogue on how to improve our club, have a dialogue in how to unite the fan base. Thank you very much. I'm out.